Hello again. I am assuming if you're watching this that you watched the first video where I kind of proved how the product of powers law works. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do some examples with this. All right, and so just real quick, the law states that when you multiply powers with the same base, you add the exponents. All right, and we're going to look at about 3 different examples of how this works and how it looks combinatorially if you have more than one thing. So a term we want to talk about really quick is something called a monomial. And so what a monomial is, and we're going to put this above where the example is a monomial is basically any any kind of term where things are multiplied together. So a monomial could be a number by itself, could be a variable by itself, or any kind of combination. So 5x could be a monomial. 5x to the 7th power could be a monomial. 5xy squared could be a monomial. And I could get really crazy and say, oh, well, 10xyz is a monomial. All of these are examples. The big thing is a monomial is a product, so that you'll see no plus or minus signs in it. All right, so in our first example, it says simplify the expressions. That means write it in the easiest, neatest way you can. So we've got 5 squared times 5. So if we use our rule, all right, which says that you add your exponents, the tricky part about this problem is we got to remember that everything can have an exponent. So 5 does have an exponent. It's by itself. Its exponent would be 1. So that's the tricky part about this one. And then you see that they both have a common base. They both have 5 as a base. So pretty much you would just go 2 plus 1. You're adding these together. And that would give you 5 to the 3rd power. Next problems. All right, we've got c to the 3rd times c to the 5th. So we have a common base. Our common base is c, so I always write down the common base or bases depending on what you're doing. And then you go from base to base and add your exponents together if you're multiplying. So we've got 3 and we've got 5. So we're going to add 3 and 5. So c to the 3 plus 5 power gives you c to the 8th power. And again, just like the last video, if we wrote these out and did all that, you'd see that if you counted them all up, you'd get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is just a much faster way of doing it. And we are all about efficiency and doing as little work as possible. All right, this problem, what you got to do when you have monomials that have more than one type of term in it is you multiply the things together that you can multiply together. So I can multiply this -3 times this 4. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. And make sure you're not adding them because these aren't exponents. This is just the same as -3 times 4. All right, so -3 times 4 gives you -12. And so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at our x squared and our x to the 5th. Well, the common base there is x, and because we're multiplying, our law, right, product of powers, says that we add the exponents together. So I'm going to take 2 and 5, and I'm going to add those together. So it's -12 to the x to the 2 plus 5 power, which is -12 x to the 7th. All right, this last problem here, if you want to stop the video and try it, and then come back, I welcome you to do that. All right? If you did or didn't have a go at it, let's work on this. So I'm going to basically kind of combine the things I know I can combine. I can combine that 6 and that -4, and I'm going to multiply them together, right? So 6 times -4 gives me -24. Now I'm going to do my c's. So I've got c to the 3rd, and I've got c, and there's no number there, so what would my exponent be? My exponent would be 1. So that's c to the 1 power. So that would be c to the 3 plus 1 power. And then on this one, I've got d squared here, and I've got d to the 4th here. So that gives me d to the 2 plus 4 power. Because again, my laws of exponents with product of powers tell me that if you have the same base and you're multiplying, you add those exponents together. I know I sound like a broken record, but I really want you to understand that. So negative 24, c, we're going to simplify that. 3 plus 1 is 4. And then d, we're going to simplify 2 plus 4 and make it 6. And you have a simplified, neat expression. And I hope this is starting to make some sense for you. Okay, thank you for watching.